Hey everyone, welcome back to Imagination Tech. My name is Jeff, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Source 2 by Team Black Sheep. Now, if you're an experienced hobbyist, or you've been building frames, you know that the normal choice for good quality frames are in the $100 range, $120 range, and these are the premium frames made by Armaton, made by Rotor Riot or Team Black Sheep. But if you're looking to build a relatively cheap quad, and also this applies for people who are just coming into this hobby, you might not want to spend $100 just for the frame alone. So your usual routes would be just to go with the cheap Chinese knockoffs or the cheap clones, which are essentially just copies, or sometimes they're exact replicas of those more expensive premium frames that are available right now on the market. However, if you don't like that idea of of purchasing these Chinese knockoffs or Chinese clones, which are really just mass produced to keep the prices down, and they have practically zero investment in the design, because they didn't design it, they just practically copied the design, then you're pretty much left with that option. But with TBS, what they did was they tapped into the community, they tapped into the bigger FPV community to create an open source frame that is designed by the community itself, and it's designed also with the community in mind. So this one is just $24.90, which is either as cheap or sometimes even cheaper than those Chinese knockoffs, which is a really good thing in terms of price point. And there's an open source design, meaning that you can just go onto online and download the design. You can print it yourself, you can print it on a 3D printer, you can print it on carbon, and you can even print some of the parts for this easily, because again, the design is open source, meaning that anyone can look into the design, can do modifications, and maybe in a future version of the Source 2, your input might be integrated into the product that TBS manufactures. So yeah, so this is the Source 2. Obviously there was a Source 1, and the Source 1 was a freestyle frame, and this one obviously is designed for racers. It has a smaller pod design instead of the typical long fuselage of the usual freestyle frames. But yeah, so that is the Source 2 in a nutshell. It's a cheap frame for if you're looking to do a cheap build, or if you just need to create a lot of quads as a backup quad, or whatever you need. So anyway, without further ado, let's go in and let's check out the contents of this frame, and let's start building this thing.
Alright, here we go. So here we have our Source 2 frames, and let's just cut open this package really quickly. And from the get-go, I can see that there are some of these individually packaged. They have their own Ziploc. These are the arms. I'm not really quite sure if they are the same. They look the same, might be different. Anyway, there are two arms on each of those Ziploc bags. Actually, everything is in their own nice little Ziploc pouch. Unlike if you buy one of those, for example, I just recently did a review of the Martian Anniversary Special Edition frame as well, which is a clone of the original Alien. But if you're interested in looking at that, I can post that as well. So we have these rubber grommets, I think. I'm not sure what you call them. We'll find out in a little bit. And we have this nice little custom 3M, this nice laser cut 3M gummy pad. So this is going to be sitting on top of your frame, maybe something like that. Anyway, and this is one of the plates, and one of those, I have no idea, but comes with all of these screws and these posts. These posts are a little bit short, so I guess this frame is meant for a two layer stack, but we'll see as we build along. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's just build out this thing. So first, let's take a look at this package. Let's open them up and see how this is assembled. Let's get these arms. So we're not going to do any, like, we're not going to be filing these. They are still a little bit sharp, so it might be a good idea to file these off, just so we don't have any sharp edges. It's not very sharp, but it's not chamfered either. So here. Right, so what I can see from the get-go is that these arms, these holes are going to line up like that. They are mostly like going to be arranged something like that. Let's figure out what this plate is for. So this looks like to be the top plate, and this looks like the bottom plate. In which case, this probably will go on here. You can see there's a notch for the camera, and there's a notch for probably your VTX antenna. And I am thinking that these are sandwich boomerangs, so that you can fix your frame, your arms onto your frame like this. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and build this thing. The first thing I figured out is that based on this image, that the bottom plate is actually the bottommost part, and then we're going to use some screws. The arms are going to go on top, and then the boomerang, and then we're just gonna have some screws poking up towards that post. Right. So that's the first thing we'll do. We have our arm. We have our bottom plate, or we have our arm, and then we get this one of these screws. Poke it through the bottom, just have it go up, and then it's gonna be sandwiched like that. And we need the other arm as well. So probably should do arms first before that boomerang thing. So put the arm here, get that arm in, and then get that boomerang in as well. And use these posts to screw it in, and that's going to hold our first two arms together. Not going to tighten it too much because we are still going to be assembling the rest of the frame. So we're just going to repeat that here for the front, and I'll get you in a little bit. You can use the other screw as well. Oops. For the other hole, and then just tighten that down with a lock nut right here. So again, we're not going to tighten it too much, we're just going to hand tighten it for now. But yeah, so I'm going to do that on this arm as well, and then for the rest of the arms. Before we close up the top mount, just wanted to show you one unique thing about this, and these are actually the TPU. Apparently this is made out of TPU. It feels more like rubber, but yeah, this is apparently TPU, and this is what you use for your camera mount. Let me just take off one of these. You just have to pop it out of this rubber like thing. Now this one, let's get a pair. You slide it over here, over one of your posts, and you slide it again. You slide the other one again like that, and there's a hole on the side, and that's where you put in your screw. And it's a nice, it's a different approach, but it's a nice approach. And with that, you can have your FPV camera mounted here. So there are different sizes depending on which camera you use. Presumably these are for the micros, because they would be right parallel with these posts, and this one would be farther back. So if you have a bigger camera, you probably might want to use this. And for anything in between, you're going to use this one. Let's these arms are also really nice and thick. It says in the package that they are 4 millimeters, so I have between 3.8 and 3.7. So so they are approximately 4 millimeters. So these are nice, really nice arms, really nice and stiff. And now we are going to be closing up our Source 2 build. And that is it for this build of the Source 2 frame by Team Black Sheep. It's a really nice build, and it's a really nice frame and really great for racers as well. So you can put in I was mistaken. I thought this would the short post would only accommodate like a 2-layer stack, but apparently because of the design of the frame, this can handle a 3-layer stack as well inside there. So there are some recommended parts over at the TBS website, and as well as links to 3D printed parts that you can use to customize this as well. So that's the downside of having a very cheap frame. It's just very basic. It's just practically the frame, and then you have even your nylon mounts or whatever mount that you want to put in there. You're gonna have to buy separately. But you know, if you don't want to support those cloners, then this is really good because you are supporting those who are actually designing these kinds of frames. And this one in particular, they are designed by the community, for the community in mind, right? So that has been it. I will be showing you just some nice beauty shots of this frame, and hopefully I can make a nice video with use this frame for a nice new build that I will be building, maybe a cheap racer build, right? So anyway, that has been it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this frame. I'll put links in the description, and as always, if you click one of those links, it really helps me a lot. So those are affiliate links. It doesn't cost anything to you, but it does help me grow this channel. Alright, so anyway, that has been it. As always, if you like this video, click on that like button. If not, then just thumbs down. That's okay as well. At least I know that I need to improve on these videos as well, right? And make sure that you are subscribed, so when I come up with new video, like when I come up with a build video using this TBS Source 2 frame, then you'll be notified about that as well. And as always, keep building and keep flying.